around you. Really look. Don't just see what you're told to see. Feel the energy of this moment in human history. There's a tension, isn't there? A sense of something coming to a head, a feeling that the world is accelerating towards a precipice. This is not an accident. It's not a series of unfortunate coincidences. It is the culmination of a plan, millennia in the making. What you are witnessing, what you are living through, is the end game. This is their final push for total global control, and I am here to issue an urgent warning to the world, because our freedom, our very humanity, depends on us seeing it for what it is. But before we go any further, I have a question for you, a very simple one. Do you feel, deep in your gut, beyond the noise of the news and the distractions of daily life, that something is profoundly and fundamentally wrong with the world we inhabit? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not asking what you think, but what you feel. That gut instinct is your inner guidance system, and it's screaming at you for a reason. For decades, I've been traveling the world, speaking to people from all walks of life, piecing together the different strands of a web that has been spun around humanity. It's a web of control, woven by a tiny few to enslave the many. I call this network a global cult. It's not defined by a single name or a single country. It operates through a vast network of secret societies, banking dynasties, corporate cartels, and intelligence agencies. It hides in plain sight, its members occupying the highest positions of power in government, media, science, and finance. They follow a long-term agenda passed down through generations to centralize power into a single global authority, a world government, a world army, a world central bank, and a microchipped population connected to a global computer. The primary method they use to achieve this is one I've spoken about relentlessly: problem-reaction-solution. It's brilliantly simple and devastatingly effective. First, they secretly create a problem. It could be a war, a financial crash, a pandemic, a terrorist attack, or a major social crisis. Then they use their control of the mainstream media to report on that problem in a way that generates maximum fear and panic among the population. You hear the same headlines, the same sound bites, repeated over and over until the public is screaming, "Something must be done! This can't go on!" And that is the reaction they want, because then, in the final stage, they offer the solution. And their solution is always, without fail, something that dismantles our freedoms, centralizes more power in their hands, and takes us another giant leap closer to their goal of a global totalitarian state. Think about it. Every major crisis of the last century has resulted in more power for the few and less freedom for the many. We are told these measures are temporary, for our safety, for our protection, but they are never temporary. The state never willingly relinquishes power once it has been acquired. This is the ratchet effect. With each manufactured crisis, the walls of our prison close in a little further. They are playing a long game, a game of psychological chess against the human race. And for a long time, we haven't even realized we're on the board. We've been convinced we are just spectators to a chaotic world, when in fact, we are the pawns in their meticulously planned endgame. But the prison they are building is not just physical, it is first and foremost a prison for the mind. They have hijacked the education system to teach what to think, not how to think. They have commandeered science to become a dogmatic religion, where questioning the official narrative is heresy. They have turned the media into a global hypnosis machine, pumping out a constant stream of fear, division, and distraction, 24 hours a day. They want to keep us in a low vibrational state of anxiety and conflict, because when we are in fear, we are easy to control. We look for a savior, a leader, a government to protect us. We give our power away. This mental programming creates what I call the 5-sense prison. We are conditioned from birth to believe that the only thing that is real is what we can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. We are cut off from our true nature, which is infinite consciousness, having a brief human experience. We are spiritual beings, immense and powerful, but we've been tricked into believing we are just our names, our jobs, our bodies, and our bank accounts. This is the greatest deception of all, because once you identify with the infinite, you become impossible to control. You realize that the bars of the cage are an illusion, a projection of a limited belief system. This is the awakening they fear more than anything. They don't fear riots in the streets. They can handle that. They fear a mass expansion of consciousness, because that is a force they cannot defeat. This is why their endgame involves a war, not just on our freedom, but on consciousness itself. The endgame is now entering its most dangerous and overt phase. The pieces are moving into position for the final checkmate against humanity. And at the heart of this final push is the creation of a cashless society built around central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. I cannot stress this enough. This is not a simple upgrade from physical cash to digital money. It is the implementation of the ultimate system of control. When all money is digital and controlled by a central bank, every single transaction you make is recorded, tracked, and monitored. There is no more privacy, no more anonymity. But it goes much, much further than that. CBDCs are programmable money. This means the central authority that issues the currency can decide what you are allowed to spend your money on, where you are allowed to spend it, and even if you are allowed to spend it. Did you buy too much petrol this month according to your carbon allowance? Your ability to buy more could be switched off. Did you post something on social media that questioned the official narrative? Your account could be frozen instantly with no recourse. They could program it so your money expires after a certain date to force you to spend and stimulate the economy. This is not a prediction. These are features that are openly discussed by the central bankers and technocrats designing these systems. It transforms money from a tool of exchange into a mechanism for social engineering and political control. It is the foundation for a global social credit system, just like the one we've seen prototyped in China, where your behavior determines your access to society. This financial control grid is being built in parallel with a digital identity grid. They will tell you it's for your convenience, one login for all your government services, your healthcare, your bank, your travel documents. But what it really is a digital file on every single person on the planet, linking your finances, your health records, your movements, your online activity, everything into a single, easily accessible database. Step out of line, and with the press of a button, you can be disconnected from the very society you are a part of. This is the technological equivalent of the prison yard, where the guards can see everything and control everything. This is the world they are building, under the guise of progress, safety, and convenience. They want a world where dissent is not just difficult, it's technologically impossible. Simultaneously, we are witnessing an unprecedented war on information. The very concept of a free and open exchange of ideas is under attack. Anyone who questions the narratives pushed by the establishment media and so-called health organizations is immediately labeled with a string of dismissive terms: conspiracy theorist, purveyor of misinformation, denier. They are not debating the information. They are attacking the person presenting it. They use censorship, deplatforming, and algorithmic manipulation to ensure that only the official, state-sanctioned version of reality is allowed to reach the public. The fact-checkers, often funded by the very corporations and entities with a vested interest in the official narrative, act as the gatekeepers of truth, creating a digital book burning in which dissenting data and perspectives are simply memory holed. This isn't about protecting people from falsehoods. It's about protecting the system from scrutiny. They are terrified of people looking at the evidence for themselves and drawing their own conclusions. They need to control perception, because if they control what you perceive to be real, they control how you behave. This is why I have always said the greatest form of control is to be in a prison you cannot see. If you believe the narrative, if you accept the cage of official truth, you will police yourself. You will censor your own thoughts for fear of being ridiculed or ostracized. This psychological warfare is a cornerstone of the endgame, designed to isolate us and make us feel like we are the only ones who see what is happening. But I am telling you, you are not alone. There are millions, hundreds of millions of us, awakening all over the world. And then there is the most insidious aspect of this endgame, the transhumanist agenda. This is the ultimate goal of the global cult. They don't just want to control what you do and what you think. They want to fundamentally change what you are. They see the human body as an outdated piece of hardware that needs to be upgraded and merged with artificial intelligence. We hear them talking openly about the Internet of Bodies, connecting our biological systems to the cloud. They are pushing forward with gene editing technologies and brain-computer interfaces, selling it all to us as the next leap in human evolution. But it is not evolution, it is enslavement at a biological level. If your mind and body are connected to a centralized AI network, who is in control? Who is feeding you your thoughts and emotions? You cease to be a sovereign human being and become a biological terminal on their global network. This is the final frontier of their control fantasy, to hack humanity itself. This is the end game in its starkest, most terrifying form. So we've laid it all out. We see the plan, we see the methods, problem, reaction, solution, financial control, information warfare, and the transhumanist nightmare. It's a dark picture, and it's meant to be. They want you to feel overwhelmed. They want you to feel small, powerless, and afraid. They want you to look at the scale of their power and conclude that resistance is futile. And that right there is their biggest lie, because the power they wield is a house of cards built on a foundation of our fear and our compliance. Their power is not inherent. It is given to them by us, the many. And what has been given can be taken back. The solution, the way we avert this endgame, is not to fight the system on its own terms. To meet their violence with violence, their hatred with hatred, is to become them. That is another one of their traps, to drag us down to their low vibrational level. The real revolution is not a physical one. It is a revolution of consciousness. It is a mass awakening to who we truly are. You are not just a human being fighting a global cabal. You are infinite consciousness, the same consciousness that dreams up the cosmos, experiencing reality through a human body. You are everything. You are eternal, and within you is a power that they cannot comprehend and cannot defeat. The first and most powerful step is to withdraw your consent. Stand up, straighten your back, look the tyrant in the eye, whether it's a politician on a screen or a petty official demanding compliance with a ridiculous rule, and say with every fiber of your being, no. No, I will not comply with your insane mandates. No, I will not live in fear. No, I will not surrender my bodily autonomy. No, I will not accept your cashless control grid. No, I will not participate in my own enslavement. Non-compliance is our greatest weapon. Not violent, aggressive non-compliance, but peaceful, resolute, mass non-compliance. The system only functions because we, the 8 billion, agree to make it function. When enough of us stop playing the game is over. To do this, you must unplug from their hypnosis machine. Turn off the mainstream media. It is nothing more than a propaganda and fear delivery system designed to keep you locked in their desired perception of reality. Stop feeding your consciousness with their poison. Instead, seek out information from alternative sources. Read, research, listen to other voices. Most importantly, learn to listen to your own heart, your own intuition. Your gut feeling is a far more reliable guide to the truth than any so-called expert on a television screen. Question everything you've been told about history, about science, about who you are. Reclaim your own mind. We must also consciously choose our vibrational state. The cult operates in the low frequencies of fear, guilt, blame, and division. Our power lies in the high frequencies of love, joy, empathy, and courage. This is not some passive New Age sentiment. It is the most active form of rebellion there is. To choose love in a world that promotes fear is a revolutionary act. To choose unity in a world that promotes division is a revolutionary act. To laugh, to sing, to connect with nature, to show kindness to a stranger, these simple acts raise your frequency and in turn raise the collective frequency of humanity. They are building a world of concrete and circuitry. We must reconnect with the world of forests, oceans, and the human heart. And we must come together. Their strategy is to divide and conquer, to isolate us and make us feel alone. We must do the opposite. Find the others, build communities, create local networks of support, start trading goods and services outside of their system, grow your own food, support local farmers and businesses who refuse to bow to the corporate agenda. The more we build a parallel society based on cooperation, freedom and respect, the more irrelevant their system of control becomes. We don't need to destroy their world. We simply need to turn our focus and our creative energy into building a better one. This is the end game, yes, but it is their end game, not ours. It is the last desperate throw of the dice by a psychopathic minority that is terrified of losing its control over a humanity that is rapidly waking up. They are reacting to us. The tightening of the grip is a sign of their weakness, not their strength. The future is not pre-written. It is a fluid realm of infinite possibilities, and what manifests depends on where we place our focus and our energy. We have a choice in every moment to choose fear or to choose love, to choose servitude or to choose freedom. Do not let them tell you who you are. You are a magnificent eternal being of light and love. Remember that, feel that, live that, and their house of cards will come tumbling down, not with a bang, but with the silent, unstoppable power of a global awakening. The time is now. The power is you. Let's get on with it.